Hello, everybody. I got one person, and hey, NG. Hey, lady. All right, I got the first one. Um, I know I haven't did much videoing since I've been here in New York. I've actually been back and forth. Hello, everyone. I've actually been back and forth to the school with my stepdaughter, but you all know I call her my daughter. So um, I've been back and forth to the school, and we have so much to catch up on. I might not read the comments right now because it's my last night here, and I said that there's no way that I can go back home without at least doing a New York live. But I'm probably gonna start like before I even left. Uh, some things started out bad even before I left Florida. Like I left something at home on the way to the airport, and I already forgot what it was. So oh yeah, one of my injections. So we went back to get that. Still in good time. Then we get to the airport port early enough to catch our flight, but we ran into some issues with our luggage. You know how that goes. So by the time the issues was dealt with, they're rushing us up to get on the plane. I'm in the wheelchair. They're pushing me. You know, I had my oxygen on or whatever. Got all the way to the gate and it was closed. So, with that being said, we had to catch the next plane out, which required me to wait at the airport for a whole 4 hours. Couldn't afford to catch the Uber all the way back home. So, we sat there, and the 4 hours actually kind of went by fast because I was handling some business on my phone about my event that I have coming up. So that kind of went by fast. And last but not least, we got to New York. And from the hotel, which I had already priced some of the Ubers, but it all depends on what time of day you're traveling. So the earlier drop off times is what I was going by because uh, we were supposed to arrive in New York around around 8:30. So we like I said we were late, so we got here later, and the cheapest Uber was 109. Yeah, $109. That was to the hotel. We end up paying more for the baggages because my daughter overpacked. So we ended up using money that we were supposed to do things with here or whatever on extra stuff that we wasn't expected, but it's always expect the unexpected. So we got all that situated, uh, and then we arrived to our hotel, and that's why I was showing y'all, like I was doing like little bitty videos, just some little snaps letting you all know, how everything was going. So before I left Florida, hi everybody, the transplant center was aware of my low blood count. They had already approved the trip, and I had medication for that, so it was still okay to go or whatever. So everything was still okay at the time, and they gave me some injections. And oh, right now I'm making dinner at the hotel because we went grocery shopping. We ate out like a very little while we were here, so we found it cheaper to go to grocery shopping, and cook. So I had one more pack of fish in there for salmon, and that's what we're gonna have tonight. And I'm cooking this, and let's get back to the medication. So they told me about my white blood cells, my blood count. It was low, so we need that to be up. So what they did was prescribe me some medicine. I got it overnight from UPS. I mean, was it UPS? Tisha, was it UPS? FedEx that brought my medicine. Okay, it was UPS. So they came out with the medication. I'm going back and forth cooking. So they came out with the medication, which were injections. Okay, keep following me, and I'm gonna be kind of back and forth from here to the stove. Yeah, I feel so backwards without being at home. Everything is like right here at home, but I got more space here. So the medication was a 3 day supply of it start with an it start with an N. Okay, new saying it right, but it was I had to give myself a shot for 3 days in a row at the same time. But the first day that I took the medication, I felt kind of funny, and that can be just because I was new to the injections or whatever. So I took some Tylenol or whatever. Day two, I take the medicine, and then I start getting you know what I mean, and whatever. I started getting that, and it started kind of like in my mid back to about right here, and then it started moving up, but it was just like throbbing, throbbing, throbbing. So I'm like, okay, and see what he wants, please. So I know that that's not normal for my body to do that because I've been on my other medication long enough and I haven't had those problems. Call Bobby. And so at that point, I called the transplant center to tell them what was happening and everything and how I was feeling. Oh, then it had me itching and uh, all the above, just lots of itching. And thank God I had my Benadryl with me because I have to take that sometimes, for my other medication. Okay, so now we're done with the 3 days of that. Um, we're done with that part. So the itching lasted like way too longer than it should have done, and so that I knew that that medication was the one that gave me that reaction. So we found out that it was that medication. Now let's go on to the next thing. Um, they're gonna. Well, I was supposed to go to Quest when I get back to Orlando, and my flight leaves out tomorrow. So I'll go to Quest at more blood work. This was supposed to be the plan, so follow me. So the original plan was to go to Quest. Meanwhile, I'm going to show you my salmon. Wild caught, wild caught. It's a late dinner. We know we usually eat way earlier than this, but you'll find out why in a few minutes. So got to let that butter saute. So if the blood work shows that my count is back up, I would be done with the injections for that. But now, since I had reactions, even if the blood count is still low, I won't be getting the same injections again. So, then they'll have to see what they're gonna do. And I was thinking maybe they would have to inject me, from the hospital to make sure that nothing is going on. So that was my thoughts and or whatever. But we won't know that until I get the blood work. Okay, now moving right along. So on Monday, has been a long week for me, guys. So on Monday, I discovered a cyst under my left arm. I'm not gonna touch it because I am preparing dinner, but it's under my left armpit, and I start feeling it. We all have somewhere and somehow had where we felt like a boil or a cyst somewhere on our bodies. And back in the days, I think they used to put like an egg on it to go away or whatever. But transplant center ain't playing around with that type of stuff. Because of my situation. I'm high risk or whatever. So I noticed it on Monday, and I was already here in New York, so it was no reason for me to panic at the time, because I'm thinking, oh, it's a hair bump or something, because we do shave on our arms, and it still could be one. But Then on Tuesday, I felt that it felt even harder. Wednesday, okay, it started getting out of hand. Let's just put it like that. The redness, the smell, things like that. Uh, Now we're at Thursday is when I made the call to the transplant center to inform them about what is actually going on with the cyst. So what they did was call me some medication in up here in New York, and that's where I'm just coming from, CVS. I took the shuttle there, which was right on time, and the guy was nice enough to even wait on me, and he was nice enough to wait on us, and it's very painful. And don't panic, guys. Just pray. And so I had to send photos over to the transplant center. We have a certain phone number that we use for photos when the doctors ask, and it's probably like dime size or so, I would say. And it's quite painful. So what they did is call the antibiotic in instead of sending me to the hospital here because they know where I am. They know what hospital is near, and then if they would have admitted me here, then Shands would have had to come get me. And don't feel like taking a helicopter. Nope. But if it boiled down to that, I would have. But they feel like I'm safe enough because I'm returning home tomorrow. But as soon as I get off my flight tomorrow in Orlando, I am directed to report straight to Gainesville. So this has been a very hard week, especially, I came here to see Azare off. And, in the meantime, my mind is, on her being here. And it's also on what's going on with this cyst. And I know the surgery, if they have to, go in there and just laser it off, it won't be as bad. But I'm hoping they can just drain it. But at this point, um, it's I'm kind of nervous about it because, and I know y'all probably gonna say I shouldn't be nervous, but I got my own reasons why. Because with with this type of cyst that I have going on that's already infected, uh, you can also catch a disease called sepsis, and they don't want that to get in my bloodstream. So uh, I will be following my instructions as soon as I get back to Orlando. Uh, my bag that I brought here with me, thank God I have a few extra pieces in there, so I'll just take that same bag straight to Gainesville with me. And to be honest, I don't even have no idea how I'm gonna get to Gainesville because our car is in the shop. It broke down right before we left to get on the plane. 2 days before, the car broke down. I always talk about my car. I need a new car and this, that, and the other. Well, it got me again. Matter of fact, it broke down as soon as you guys remember I just took a trip to Gainesville last week. And yeah, I was posting videos. It broke down right as we got home from Gainesville. It just crashed. So I have to figure out how I'm going to do this for tomorrow. Don't have a lot of family and friends in Orlando, but God's going to make a way. One thing we didn't buy is a lot of seasoning for this hotel stay because we didn't want to get stuck with it, taking all that on the plane. So I just bought a couple of seasons and called it a day. So I've had a nice week. I had a rough week. It's just been bittersweet. Um, you know. What does Shabazz want, Tisha? He home over Fred. So it seems like to me that I can't catch a break. Putting salmon in now. can't believe this. I'm looking for the fork and it's right here. That's where my mind is right now, all over the place. Yeah, it almost seems, guys, like, I don't come on here with my sad stories or anything, but it just feels like sometimes I just can't catch a break. I'm supposed to be done with all this about now. I'm almost at my year point. I just started feeling good about myself, which I feel good about myself all the time, but I just started feeling way better, from all the problems that I've had coming up to this year. So, but I got to keep that faith of a mustard seed, and that's pretty much what keeps me going. And it doesn't scare me that they have to laser it off. I just worry about the infection, and it probably started to come around Monday when I first felt it, but you don't notice an infection until that pain comes in, or the red, the puffiness. That's when you pretty much notice it. So just gonna keep praying that everything goes well, and I'll keep the faith. And we'll be heading to the airport in the morning, very early. So thought I was gonna go home and sort out some more things that I need to work on personally, and I can't even do that. So, but I know everything happens for a reason. So I'm gonna turn the camera around in a minute so y'all can see what it's looking like. Sorry about all the moving around. And I see everybody's comments. I'm going to definitely go back and read them. Now I got to make sure I get this food on because it's already getting late. And I picked up my medication, but I got to eat something on it. So this is what they gave me until I get back. Cephalexin every 6 hours, 500 milligrams. So we shall do that shortly. Well, by the time the transplant center called that medicine in, it was ready in no time. It was ready. Let's see if I can turn it around. Oh, that's still me.